I'm Michelle. Welcome to Advanced Training, Fitness, and Yoga. I have a quick 15-minute hip and low back release. So if you're ready to get started, grab your mat, grab a pair of blocks, and as always, press like if you like this video. If there's ever something that you're looking for that I can help you out with, just reach out to me and let me know. I'd be glad to help. So we're gonna dive right in. Let's get started. Sit in a comfortable seat, move your flesh out of the way. If you need to sit on a block to help bring that floor to you, or even in a chair, feel free to help bring your body where it needs to be today and meet yourself. All right, take a big breath in, reach to the sky. Start to walk your right fingertips towards the right side of the room. Really reach that left arm over, maybe even looking under your left arm. Sink down in that left sitting bone. Breathe into the left side body. And then come back to center, switch sides. Left hand starts to walk to the left side. Right arm reaches up and over. Really breathe into the right lung. Notice that the right hip is lifting up, sink down. Come back to center, begin to twist your body to the right. Right hand walks behind you, left hand outside of the right leg. On the inhale, fill the lungs and stay for the exhale. Feel that upper left shoulder blade. Come back to center, reach to the sky. Twist your body to the left, left fingertips behind you, right hand outside of the left leg. On the inhale, twist you a little deeper and sit you 2 inches taller. Stay for the exhale. And gently coming back to center, uncrossing the legs, melt the soles of your feet together. And we're gonna stretch the legs far away from us, about 18 inches away from the midline. Go ahead and grab onto the feet, round the back a lot. Feel each and every vertebra separate. Imagine those vertebrae are like a strand of pearls. And you're straightening out that strand of pearls that's been all crunched up in a tight little ball. Relax your head, chin towards the chest. One more breath. Then slowly bringing yourself back up. Bring the legs, knees back in, heel toe them about as wide as your mat. You can use the hands to support you on the back. We're gonna let both the legs dump off to the right. You're making a 90-degree angle with the right leg and the left. And now walk your body off to that left side. Tummy towards your left thigh. Using the hands for a little support, breathe into the left hip. Come back to center. Let the legs spill off to the right. Again, making that 90-degree angle. Right shin parallel to the top of the mat. Left shin parallel to the left side. And bring yourself forward, your tummy towards your right thigh. Pause for one more breath. Just beginning to wake the body up and noticing where the restrictions are in your body. And then slowly begin to bring yourself back up. The legs come back in, and we're gonna come into tabletop and dive right in. Knees are directly under the hips. I say about 2 fists width apart or a dollar bill, hands under shoulders. As you exhale, round that back a lot, chin into chest. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Your exhale, round it out. A couple more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Come back into that neutral spine. Slide that right foot straight, driving the ball of the right foot down into the mat. Now imagine you're ripping this mat in two from the ball of your right foot. Feeling a stretch in the arch of your right foot. Let it feed into the Achilles, the calf, the lower part of the right leg. Pause for one more breath. And now lifting up into a 3-legged tabletop. Right leg lifts, right glute is active. Squeeze your tush. And now come into sunbird spinal balance. Reach your left arm to the front of the room and pause. Gently set the left hand down. You're gonna step the ball of the right foot now off to the left side, pushing left shoulder, left hip to left shoulder. Now curl your left toes. We're gonna come to a cross-legged down dog. So slide your right foot to the knife edge of your left foot, pinky side of the feet, they match one another. Press back, bend your knees a lot or a little. Pause for one more breath. Now unhook that right leg and you're gonna set the right knee down under the hip and switch sides. So now drawing the ball of the left foot down into the mat. Press into it. Feel the difference between your left side and your right side. Now coming into that sunbird spinal balance on this side, left leg lifts, right arm reaches. Pause here and stay for another full cycle of breath. Great for strengthening the core. Left leg stays up, right hand down. Now step the ball of your left foot off to the right. Gaze over your right shoulder, pause. Now come into that cross-legged down dog here. Curl your right toes and slide the pinky side of the left foot to the right. Bending the knees generously, especially if the hips, the hamstrings are tight. Huge culprits of low back pain. Gently unhook the left leg, bring the left knee down to the mat and the right to meet it. Sink back and into child's pose. Take a moment to slide a block under you if you need it. Maybe stretch your knees to the width of the mat, melt the toes together. Take a moment to pause and to notice what's going on in your body, where the tightness, where the restraints are. And slowly begin to walk yourself back up. We're going to step that right foot through to the top of the mat and come to a little low lunge here. If you need something to place underneath of that left knee, if there's discomfort in that leg, go ahead and place something under it. A little subtle tuck of that tailbone under. Ignite this left glute. Come forward in your left hip. Reach both arms to the sky. Take that right hand, catch the left wrist, and lean off to the right. Simultaneously, that left hip comes forward, so we feel that nice stretch in the front side of the left hip. Pause for another breath. Gently releasing the hands, come down and frame that right leg and shift your weight back. Breathe into the right hamstring, the underside of that right leg. Pause for a full another breath, remembering these tight hamstrings are huge culprits of low back pain. Breathe in there. And gently rebending the right leg. You're going to heel toe this right foot all the way to the left edge of the mat and come into a high pigeon. Always an option to slide the block under your bum to help bring the floor to you. And then find a more relaxed pigeon. Bring yourself down onto that mat. Feeling a stretch in that right hip. Take a moment to pause. And if you already know, I get more out of this on my back side and you want to flip over into a reclined pigeon, know that this is a modification for that pigeon up, and you can come here, grabbing a hold of the left thigh, breathe into your right hip. Gently staying for one more big breath. And if you flipped over on your backside, we're going to meet back on our front. Curl those left toes, send that right leg to the back. Option to lower the knees down to the mat, lower your tummy all the way down. On an inhale, lift up in a little cobra, lift your heart, your chest. On an exhale, melt down. Press yourself back and into child's pose. Hips onto the heels. Pause for one full cycle of breath. Then gently bring yourself back up and switching sides. Left foot to the top of the mat, 2 inches to the right of your belly button. Breathe into that psoas. It feeds into the top head of our femur, right into the top of that thigh. Both arms reach to the sky. Now take your left hand, catch the right wrist, and lean off to the left. Coming forward with the right hip, get a little deeper. Tying in where the side goes, your serratus, tight all the way down and wrap around into the front side of your right thigh. And gently release. The hands come down, framing the left leg now. Stretch back. Feel the left hamstring. You're going to pause here for 3 breaths. You can play with pointing, flexing your left foot. Keep a little generous bend in the left knee, especially if the hamstring is tight. Pause, 1 more breath. And gently rebending the left leg, and you're going to heel toe it all the way over for a high pigeon on this side. Take a moment to square yourself off, and when you're ready to sink a little lower, come a little lower. Find a place for your head to relax. Know that you can flip over, as that example I gave on the other side. So if you want to flip onto your back, go ahead and do so at this time. We're going to pause and plug in here for about 30 seconds, so stay here. Maybe noticing the difference between your right side and left side. And give me about 10 more seconds. That's an inhale on a 5, exhale out on a 5. And slowly bring yourself up onto your hands. You're going to step back to a high plank. Always an option to leave those knees down. You can activate it. Slowly lower to your belly. Untuck the toes. On an inhale, lift your heart, chest. Feel the extension of the spine. On an exhale, melt yourself down. Slide your hands out in front of you so that the elbow is under the shoulder in Sphinx Pose. Press the mat away. Feel the stretch through your belly, extension of the spine. One more breath. And gently lower back down to the mat. Press back and into child's pose. Pause for a full cycle of breath. And slowly begin to bring yourself back up. We're going to flip over onto our backs now. So come onto your back. Keep a bend in your knees. Stretch your feet as wide as the mat. Cactus the arms out to the side. And now let both the knees spill to the left and look to your right. It's important that the legs stay nice and wide so that the spine stays in line. Now, if you want a little more, you can take this left ankle, hook it on the outside of the right leg to add a little deeper stretch. You may feel it in the left glute. You may feel it in the lower lumbar spine on the right side. And gently unhook. If you hooked, come back to center. Feet are still wide. Let both knees spill to the right. Look to your left. Can stay right here. If you did so on the other side, take the right ankle, right foot outside of that left leg. Give yourself a little extra sweetness in the lower lumbar spine, and maybe even the right hip if the tightness is there. Come back to center. Heel toe your feet so they're about hip width apart. Slide your heels close to your glutes. Sweep your arms down by your sides, running parallel by your sides. Now, this is great for our low back. So when I just normally lie, you notice that probably the mid-spine and the small of your back doesn't really melt into the mat until you give me that little posterior tilt of your pelvis. So pull your tailbone to the front of the room until you feel that low back melt into the mat. So here, I want you to pull up and under and melt it down. So you're gonna maintain that posterior tilt of the pelvis and now lift up without the shoulder blades leaving and maintaining the posterior tilt of the pelvis. Relax your upper body. Squeeze your thighs and imagine there's a force pulling your inner thighs towards one another, keeping your knees the same distance as your feet. And I keep mine about that dollar bill or even one fist width apart. Squeeze your butt, your thighs, and now lower back down and come back to that neutral spine. So that neutral spine, my hand slides nicely underneath of the back. I'm going to stretch my arms to the side just for a visual. So give me that tuck of the tailbone under, posterior tilt, melt the pelvis down. On one breath, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Come back to neutral, tilt, pull under, tuck, lift a little, probably only 4, maybe 5 inches off the mat, shoulder blades, thoracic spine doesn't leave. Exhale, come back to neutral and melt down. We're gonna do that a couple more times on your breath. So it's an inhale, tuck the pelvis under, posterior tilt, lift, squeeze your tush, lower back down. One more time, pull under, releasing that sciatic nerve, longest nerve in your body, lift, lower back down. Excellent. Extend the legs straight and the arms overhead in a full body stretch. Flex your toes, pull them towards your face. Maybe the heels even lift off and imagine someone's playing tug of war with your body. One more breath. Relax. Pull the right knee into your chest, give it a hug. Leave your left hand on the outside of the right leg and give me a half supine twist, pulling that right leg off to the left side. You can always place a block underneath of the right knee to alleviate that discomfort of the heaviness of the right leg kind of hanging out in the air. So maybe take the weight off of it. Left hand outside, invite the right shoulder blade down, pause. Gently come back to center, right knee into your chest. You're going to rebend this left leg. This helps keep it out of the hip flexor in this left leg. When we come, we're going to come into a single leg happy baby. So left foot plants, you're going to take your right hand and grab the outside of your right foot. And I'll start to put a footprint in the sky with your right foot. Draw your right knee towards your outer rib cage, right side of your mat. Feel the inner right thigh, maybe that adductor. It helps me to put my left hand on my left hip to be mindful that I don't roll that way. And now, bring the right knee back into chest. You're gonna cross the right thigh all the way over your left thigh and eagle legs. Now reach up, grab your feet, grab your shins, whatever's available. Breathe a little deeper into the right hip. I'm just kind of dancing around that whole right side. And gently releasing, switching sides. Left foot down, right foot unhooks. All right, pull that left knee into your chest, give it a hug. Start to straighten the right leg with your right hand outside of the left leg. Tug and pull it off to the right side of the room. Take your gaze to the left. Remembering that you can place that block back underneath of that knee if you need it, a pillow, something. Just really allowing that lower lumbar spine and that back to release. Remembering that low back pain can come from so many different things. It can come from that sciatic nerve. It can come from tight hamstring, tight hips. And gently come back to center, holding on to that left leg, rebend the right. Come into that half happy baby on this side. Left hand reaches, grabs outside of the left foot. Draw the left knee towards the outer rib cage. Keep a footprint in the sky and a bend in the left leg. Right hand on right hip, melt down and pause for a couple breaths here. Gently bringing yourself back to center. Left thigh all the way over your right thigh. And eagle legs. Reach and grab your ankles, grab your shins, whatever's available, and pause. Breathe into this left glute, left hip. And gently releasing and uncrossing. Extend the legs straight once again in that nice full body stretch from your fingers to your toes. Put a bend in the elbows, melt the soles of your feet together in butterfly legs, Baddha Konasana. And you're gonna pause here for at least, if you have the time, I would love for you to stay here for a couple minutes. Blocks can go underneath of the legs to alleviate the heaviness of the adductors, the inner thighs, and the hips are tight. So I'm going to invite you to stay here as long as you wish. Take the time to give yourself, and I'm hoping that this helped alleviate some tight hips, low back pain. If there's anything that you guys are looking for, message me, let me know, press like if you liked this video, and until next time, I'll see you again. I'm Michelle. Have a wonderful, blessed rest of your day.